Good morning. Good to be back. I don't care where you go, but it's always good to be back home. Been on a little vacation, and it's always good to get back home. Good to have Linda and Larry with us this morning. You make yourself at home. You're in the Lord's house. Good to have Larry and Shirley come in. As Luke said this morning, you can walk in them doors and you can look where the empty spots are, where people should be sitting. And you're missed when you're not here. But it's good to have each and every one of you here. Turn to Deuteronomy chapter 8. Deuteronomy chapter 8. Title of the message is Don't Forget Where God Brought You From. Don't forget where God brought you from. Where was you at 30 years ago? I'm just using 30 years ago. Where was you at 30 years ago? Where was you at before God saved you? Deuteronomy chapter 8. Where was you at before God saved you? That's why a lot of times people miss church. And sometimes when you miss church one time, it's easier to miss second time, and the third, and the fourth. But there's a lot of people today has forgotten where God has brought them from. I haven't forgot where God brought me from. But we have a tendency today to forget. And we treat God like one of our neighbors maybe, or somebody. Not the one that died for us. If we want to go to church, we'll go to church. If we don't, we won't. But look what He's done for us. Look what He's brought us from. Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 1 says, All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers. Be careful that you don't forget where I brought you from. And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doeth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doeth man live. That's the way we ought to be living our lives today, by every word that comes out of this book right here. We would have a better America today if everyone would do what's in this book right here. When he led him through the wilderness 40 years, their raiment waxed not old upon them. neither did thy foot swell, neither these 40 years. Can you imagine what your clothes would have looked like in 40 years? Can you imagine how sore your feet would have got in 40 years with no shoes? And he said, thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Lord thy God chasteneth thee. People worry about getting saved, whether they can live it or not. You can't live it. You've got to let God live it through you. And just as he led the children of Israel for 40 years, their clothes didn't get old. They didn't have no sores on their feet or nothing. For 40 years. Don't you think that he'll still take care of you today? You get saved. Don't worry about it. Let God take care of it. He will lead you. He will guide you. And he'll take care of you. He's the same God as they had back then. The only thing has changed today is man. We have changed. God hasn't changed. He's the same God. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways and fear him. People don't fear God anymore. What he can do. You might think that you've got it made and you're on the mountaintop. You don't need anybody anymore. But you need God, because he can bring you down off of that mountain. He can bring you down quick. For the Lord thy God bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and depths and springs out of the valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of oil, olive, and honey, a land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness. Thou shalt not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. When thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless the Lord thy God for the good land which he hath given thee. Let me tell you something, church, this morning. When you've eaten and you're full, don't forget the Lord this morning. Don't forget where he brought you from this morning. Don't forget the times that when you was an old sinner boy or a sinner girl, you was out in this world living for Satan. Don't forget where God brought you from. People does it. Just like I said a little while ago, they'll say, well, I'll go to church if I want to, but if I don't, I'll stay home and I'll live for Satan today. I miss what God brought me. I miss going to church. I've got a desire this morning to go to church because I know who brought me from the wilderness out there. God brought me from it. I didn't care whether people loved me or not. I'd kick the old dog if I wanted to. I didn't care. But God showed me one day a love that I didn't know anything about. He loved me. He brought me. I know where he brought me from. Man, he brought me from a place where man could not bring me. God had to do it. He had the power to do it. He had the power to change me, and he's got the power to change you today. But we've got a tendency today, just as the children of Israel did. They were up and down. They'd forget the Lord. They'd get down in the valley. God would bring them up on the mountaintop and give them everything. And it wouldn't be long they would forget all about the Lord and go their own way. That's the way we're doing today. The very same people. I'll tell you this morning, I warn you this morning for forgetting the Lord. Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God, in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. Lest when thou hast eaten and art full and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein, and when thy herd and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy God. Look around. As we went on vacation this week, we seen homes. You wouldn't believe the homes that we saw. God gave it to them. God give you your home today. He give you your automobile today. He give you a way to church today. He give you the clothes on your back today. Don't forget where God brought you from. Then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy God, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. God brought the children out of Egypt, brought them into a good land, and it wasn't long they began to sin. Went right back where they was again. They forgot where God led them from. He led them out of bondage in Egypt. Who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rock of the flint. They had nothing. God supplied everything that they needed. Brought them through them 40 years. Who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee to do thee good at thy latter end. And thou say in thy heart, my power. Listen to this. We're here today. I want you to listen to this. And thou say in thy heart, my power and the might of my hand hath gotten me this wealth. I've done it all. Forget about the Lord. What I've got today, the Lord has given it all to me. But people today are thinking, what I've got today, I've got with my own hands. Without God, you wouldn't even have your hands today. God give you the job. God give you the ability to do that job. I hate to say it. A lot of people today, they get a good job and they don't even appreciate a good job. God give it to them. God laid it right in their lap. And they don't even appreciate it. I'll go to work if I want to. You know what God thinks about laziness, don't you? He said a man wouldn't work, he shouldn't eat. God don't like laziness. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth. If you've got wealth today, God give it to you. And if you don't have wealth today, maybe God can't trust you with it. You ever think about that? He give you wealth today, you might not serve him as well. You might go off doing other things. You might be out on the river today in a boat somewhere instead of being in the house of the Lord. that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy father, as it is this day. And it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day, that ye shall surely perish. You say, well, preacher, I don't walk after other gods. If there's something keeping you out of church today, that is your God. That is your God. You said, well, preacher, you went on vacation last week. I sure did. I had to get away from this crowd here. My hair's all falling out. I'm just kidding you. I'm just kidding you. I wouldn't give this congregation for 350, 400 people. I love you. I couldn't wait to get back to you. But if you turn against the Lord and you start serving other gods, look out. This is a warning. Look out. You might be on the mountaintop, but God can bring you down. God can bring you down. As the nations which the Lord destroyeth before your face, so shall ye perish, because you would not be obedient to the voice of the Lord your God. We don't listen to God anymore. You want to know something this morning? People are going to do exactly what they want to do. It doesn't matter what the preacher says. It doesn't matter what the preacher says out of this book. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. People say, preacher, you're up there trying to tell us what to do. I sure am. By the Word of God. By the Word of God. I would not tell you anything out of this book. Everything I warned you about this morning, it's in this book. Don't forget the Lord. Don't forget where He brought you from. Let's get a number of songs. We're going to close. Don't forget where He brought you from.